first time in the Champions League that the two sides go toe-to-toe. So let's have a look at the formations. It's a 4-2-3-1 formation for the host. Vicario, of course, starting in goal. Pedro Porro on the right-hand side of a back four, with Destiny Udogie on the left-hand side. Danso and Romero as the two centre-backs. Archie Gray will partner Luca Bergvall as the two holding midfielders, with DJ Spence given the freedom to move further down into the left wing position. Odobert on the right, and Javi Simmons behind Dominic Solanke. 3-4-2-1 is the selected formation for Borussia Dortmund. Kubel in goal. Schlotterbeck at the centre of a back three, with Anton on the right hand side and Ben Sabani moving in onto the left. Couto on the right wing back position with Svensson on the left, and Joby Bellingham alongside and Mecca as the two centre midfielders. Then Adeyemi and Brandt behind the lone striker of Serhou Guirassy. Finished top 30 in the Ballon d'Or most recently, and will be hoping to lead his attack and for his side as Schlotterbeck makes his way into the middle with Christian Romero, the two captains, and the coin toss before we determine who it is that will get things underway for us this Tuesday evening. Other games going on in the Champions League. Of course, in the early kick-off, we got to see that Manchester City fell to a surprising defeat away from home, but there are other games to keep you up to date with, the likes of Sporting against PSG, Real Madrid against Monaco, Inter Milan against Arsenal, of course, a big game as well. We'll let you know of the scoreline as we go on and the implications it will have for the two sides here this evening. Niko Kovac just set his side up with a bit more of a defensive mentality, hoping to just hold on to things, as Tottenham expected to put a lot of energy into an early attack, try and get a goal early on, especially at home, and especially with the crowd behind them in their own half now, with the team huddle being led by Christian Romero. Dortmund doing the exact same. It's all white strip for Tottenham, white shirts and white shorts. It's the traditional yellow shirts and black shorts for Borussia Dortmund, and it will be Tottenham that get things underway for us, kicking off from right to left on the whistle of the referee. Get things underway for us this Tuesday evening. The penultimate game of the 2025-26 Champions League campaign, the league phase, is about to get underway, and Javi Simmons on the whistle will play the ball all the way back to Vicario just outside of the area. He takes a touch and distributes the ball route one. It's headed away by Bellingham towards Brandt near the centre circle. He flicks this on to Guirassy, can turn on the ball, but he's surrounded by Tottenham players. It's won back by Spence, plays it back to Romero, goes all the way back to Vicario, will get his second touch of the game early on, and plays this out to Danso on the right hand side of the centre back pairing. Long ball into the channel, Solanke's going to give chase, nudges in the back there on Schlotterbeck, and will give away a free kick inside of Dortmund's half. No hesitation from the referee in giving the free kick early on. And from just outside, about 10 yards outside of his own area, Schlotterbeck will be the one to take this free kick that he's earned, as Thomas Frank just issues further instructions within the opening minute of the game to his side. The manager under a lot of pressure at the moment. And Schlotterbeck steps away as Ben Sabani will take the free kick. He's got Schlotterbeck to his right, Tottenham just stepping off slightly in and around the centre circle, waiting for the whistle from the referee. To his left, Svensson is there for support at the halfway line. And he's just waiting for the referee to allow things to continue as the linesman catches up with play. And it's played from Ben Sabani across the back to Schlotterbeck, further across to Anton, who's now being closed down by Simmons, up towards Guirassy. Flicks this ball on, and Adeyemi's going to have a chance to run straight through the middle. He's got support either side of him, but Romero makes up good ground and wins it back. His ball down the line towards Spencer's flicked on, and it's dispossessed by Joe Bellingham, winning this back in the centre circle. Goes back to Anton and then all the way back to Schlotterbeck, and Dortmund will just regroup and have a chance to get the ball out from the back again, out to Svensson. Now to Schlotterbeck. Solanke will chase him down and try and put him under some pressure as it goes out to Anton inside of Tottenham's half. Flicked forward to Adeyemi, back towards Anton, out to the right hand side for Couto by the touchline. Anton's continued his run, he plays the ball through. Adeyemi gets there first, he's up against Spence, who'll shield the ball towards the corner flag and passes this out from the back. He's under pressure still by Couto towards his own corner flag, and eventually Dortmund will win the ball back. Adeyemi gets this, Can't get across away. He's still surrounded by Tottenham players. Takes it into the area. Spence wins it back and takes this back towards the touchline on the left-hand side. Chips the ball away. Blocked by Bellingham, and a throw-in on the left-hand side for Tottenham inside of their own half. Nice early energy from Dortmund, putting the pressure on the hosts almost immediately. Quite a high press. Kuto and Svensson pushing forward from the wing-back positions early on, and there's going to be no rush from Destiny Udogie to take this throw-in. About, again, 5 yards outside of his goalkeeper's area on the left-hand side. Looks back towards Romero for some support. Further down the line, Bergvall comes across, throws it across the middle very dangerously towards Danso. Lets this run into the area, out to his right-hand side for Porro. Still under pressure. Down the right-hand side, it's into the channel. It's going to be chased down by Odobert, but there again is Schlotterbeck. Wins the ball back, and his clearance goes back into Tottenham possession, but it's inside of their own half. Not too dangerous currently, as it's switched over by Porro towards Spence. The ball's gone over to the touchline. Spence will control this. He's still closed down by Kuto, and he's under pressure now towards Udogie. And now Gray. And Tottenham just enjoying a spell of possession, just steadying themselves down, trying to get a bit more composed. Haven't had much of the possession despite having kick-off now with Simmons. Down that left-hand side. Odobert's there for support, but it's won back by Adeyemi, and Adeyemi will break away down the right-hand side. He'll drive into Tottenham's half, and then Archie Gray with a good tackle to put the ball out of play, and another throw-in on the right-hand side for Dortmund for Kuto to come across and take. 4 minutes into the game at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Tottenham 0, Dortmund 0. Thank you very much for choosing Flash Score as your coverage of the Champions League this Tuesday evening. Bringing you, of course, the Champions League and the Europa League throughout the course of this week as the group stage draws to a conclusion. As the throw-in is taken by Kuto, and a nudge in the back there from Spence wins a free kick for Dortmund. Wide right, as up from the back comes Schlotterbeck, Ben Sabani and Anton, all lurking around the edge of the area. I'd say this is around about 20 yards outside of the area, wide on the right-hand side by the touchline, but Tottenham holding their line on the edge of the D at the edge of the goalkeeper's area. It's possibly something that Vicario has instructed. But players up from the back for Dortmund, going to try and put this Tottenham defence under a lot of pressure. Everybody is back for Tottenham. Solanke I can see lurking on the edge of the area as well, trying to help out with his defensive duties. Two players stood over the free kick. Svensson steps over this. It's going to be taken by Kuto. Goes in towards the 6-yard box. He is challenged, but Vicario holds on to the ball. Throws this out to the right-hand side, and perhaps a chance for a counter-attack here for Tottenham with Odobert on the right-hand side. Takes this down the line. The flag stays down for now. Onto the edge of the area. Across the middle towards Simons, and it's turned behind in the end by Schlotterbeck. And the flag stayed down. It's been given as a corner for Tottenham. It's a well-timed ball down that right-hand side, because it looked like the line that Dortmund had set up might actually have caught him in an offside position. But if anything, I think Ben Sabani was actually set a couple of yards further back, which was going to cause all sorts of problems for the Dortmund defence. But the first corner of the evening, and it goes to the host 5.5 minutes in. And it's going to be an out-swinging corner from that right-hand side. As up from the back come Danso and Romero. Pedro Porro, the one with the free kick. With the corner, in fact, sorry. Solanke around the penalty spot. Bergvall's in there. Udogie's come forward as well. Short to his right-hand side. He's got support in Archie Gray. Cross comes in towards the middle. At the back post is Christian Romero. Free header back across the middle. It's headed away from the 6-yard box, though, and it's back with DJ Spence out to the right-hand side with Porro. He's kept himself on side and has a second chance to put a cross in. Instead brings it back to Simmons. Now to Bergvall on the edge of the area. Wants to run from Porro. He's going to get it, and another chance to get the cross into the box. Headed away just before it gets to Solanke, and there's a chance here for Adeyemi. Plays this to Brandt, and back to Adeyemi. Gets the ball caught up in his feet, and Tottenham win this back, and it's with Javmi Simmons. Has support still to his right-hand side in Porro. On the edge of the area at the moment, Tottenham still in possession. Goes back towards the halfway line to Danso. And now Bergvall will turn on the ball and plays it back into his own half to Archie Gray, as Tottenham will now have a chance to regroup and maybe bring some of them centre-backs back into their own half. Udogie plays this down the left-hand side for Spence. Under pressure, will turn on the ball and beat two Dortmund players. Continues running and driving down the left-hand side. Takes it into the area. Can he get his cross into the box? Back towards the edge of the area. Sets up for Romero. Thinks better of having the shot and plays it across to Bergvall. Now to Porro. Drops this off for Simmons. Chooses not to get a cross into the box. Now through the middle for Porro. It's an excellent ball across the middle. And away it goes by Schlotterbeck, and out for a throw-in on the right-hand side. Again for Tottenham as they continue to put Dortmund defence on the back foot. Simmons with a lovely placed ball through the middle, just waiting for that run, and the perfect pass for Pedro Porro, who's pass across the 6-yard box. Kobel threw himself down, but it was away by Schlotterbeck before it got into the path of Dominic Solanke, and a long throw expected from the right hand side into the area. Doggy's making a run towards the front of the 6-yard box, and it's headed away. No danger there, and away comes Ben Sabini. Plays this across to Schlotterbeck as now Dortmund has calmed things down all the way back to Kobel as Solanke loses him down, and away it goes up towards Grassi. Headed away though by Ramiro. From inside of the centre circle, Danso jumps up for the ball, and the referee gives a free kick in Tottenham's favour, saying there was a nudge in the back of Ramiro and it looked awkward with how he landed. And a free kick has been given to the hosts. I think if anything, I don't think that's much of an unfair foul. Just wrapped his leg around the attacker to try and get to the ball. And certainly a player that Tottenham need to be aware of and cautious of. Bergvall plays the free kick across to Danso, all the way back to Vicario on the penalty spot. Take this to the edge of the area, plays this out to his right hand side to Danso, now to Poro. Tries to beat his man but wins a throw in. Deflects back off Svensson. Poro throws this to the edge of his own area with Danso. And now Vicario in the 6-yard box. Takes this to his left hand side. Gets the ball away. Kept in play by Spence. Heads it into the middle now with Solanke, but the throw-in's been given in Dortmund's favour. The linesman judges the ball to have crossed the line. There'll be a throw-in now for Dortmund on the right hand side. Couto across to take this on the halfway line, just in front of where Thomas Frank's issuing instructions and calling Spence to maybe move 5 yards further forward. He's got nobody in and around him. Throws this down to Garassi. Takes a touch and it's back to Bellingham. Across the middle to Schlotterbeck. Over the top, well read by Poro. Down the right hand side for Odobert. Poro's continued his run. It's with Odobert. Beats his man. Poro still continued his run as Odobert continues his push forward. Tries to get it towards the corner flag, and I think that's an easy free kick to give away. As Odobert chases down that right hand side, and Anton just got himself between the player and the ball, and he just leant back, and I think it's poor from Odobert to put the challenge in and pull on the shirt, but at the same time it's strategic from the Dortmund defender to win a free kick in that situation. And it clears himself of some trouble as Kobel comes to the edge of the area to take the free kick. And Odobert just with a handshake in the end to Anton. He pushes his defenders up towards the halfway line, indicating Kobel's going to go further afield with this free kick instead of playing the short option. And he'll do that from the left hand side of his area. He remains with the ball down the left hand side. Garassi flicks this on. Brandt will give chase, can't get to it first as away comes Bergvall on the right hand side, takes it towards the touchline, and the tackle made by Svensson wins Tottenham a throw in wide on that right hand side as he goes up towards the halfway line. Given as much as they've got at the moment of Tottenham in the opening 10 minutes of the game, Boro goes across to take the throw in. Not a Tottenham side that we've seen struggling in the Premier League so far. It's not really a Dortmund side that we've seen control a lot of Bundesliga games that they've participated in this season, as it's played out to Danso, chipped forward, brought down by Odobert, up against Brandt. Can he keep it in play? Referee says it came off of the arm of Svensson on its way through, and it'll be a throw in to Tottenham by the touchline on the right. A free kick, in fact. Boro comes across. The linesman signalled for a throw in, and I thought the referee was going to take the linesman's advice, but feels that he had a better view and gave the free kick for a handball instead. Played back by Poro to Danso. Now out to the left hand side for Ramiro. Forward to Simmons. Out left, finds some space here for Udogi. Beats his man with the first touch. Gets past Adeyemi. Down the left hand side towards Spence. Well read by Couto. Pass inside, dispossessed by Archie Gray. Now to Bergvall. And back to Ramiro, and it's still with Tottenham. Now to Udogi and out to Simmons. Udogi's continued going forward through the middle. He's got Spence for support on the left, and he's tripped by Adeyemi and will win a free kick in potentially a dangerous position if Tottenham can get a good cross into the area here. Played short instead to Spence. Dribbles this down the left hand side, crossing towards the middle's blocked and turned behind by Couto, and it's going to be another corner to Tottenham, this time out on the left hand side. And they'll bring players up from the back. Ramiro and Danso on the way into the area. Couto turns this behind. Pedro Porro just applauding the Tottenham supporters as he goes over to take an in-swinging corner from the left-hand side. Everyone surrounding the back end of the 6-yard box. The dog is in there also, as is Simmons. If Tottenham can cause some trouble inside the area. Cross comes in from Porro towards the middle, it's headed away. Falls to the edge of the area, back in towards the middle from Odobert. The second attempt across the middle, it's turned goalwards by Romero. And Tottenham have found a breakthrough, 13 minutes in. It has been on its way. Dortmund haven't threatened when moving forward. It has all been Tottenham in control so far in the game, and they finally got their reward. It was a missed cross back into the box from Odobert. He somehow worked in his favour. He took it to the edge of the 6-yard box and he dragged this back. Romero found himself in space, and despite the angle being closed down by Kobel, the space that Romero found himself in was just enough to turn the ball goalwards into the empty goal. And there will be questions of just how easy Odobert got past Brandt on that far side, as it was headed away by Guirassy. Brandt just didn't look too challenging for the ball, and Romero will make no mistake and lead in as captain. Less than 15 minutes gone at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and it is Tottenham Hotspur 1, Borussia Dortmund 0. And it's interesting to see just how Tottenham will approach it now they've taken the lead. Dortmund will have a bit more fire in themselves now, you'd expect, as they get things underway with Guirassy playing the ball back to Schlotterbeck, out to Ben Sabini towards the halfway line, and won back by Udogie. On the left hand side he's got Spence overlapping, takes this forward, Adeyemi trips him, and a free kick now for Tottenham in a very similar position to where they just had one a moment ago in the build up towards winning the corner. It was tripped by Adeyemi, and not sure how many more the referee's going to allow former Burnley attacker to have of those. And even if when the ball was dragged back Romero missed this, they're actually lining up for Tottenham to have a chance at goal. And from this free kick he has gone forward. It's going to be Porro with the cross again. Referee just having a word with a couple of players on the edge of the area due to altercations taking place. Spencer's also stood over the free kick. Plays this short to Simmons. Simmons has a chance to drift this in towards the back post. There's multiple Tottenham players there. Odobert sends it in towards the middle. It's headed away by Guirassy. Further away towards Brandt. On the edge of the area, Bellingham can't control, and it's inside to Romero. His cross is blocked, falls to Brandt by the touchline. He's under pressure still, plays this back to Ben Sabini and then to Brandt, inside to Svensson. Dortmund can't get out of their own half at the moment. Ben Sabini's clearance is brought down by Guirassy, won back by Bergvall, and away comes Bellingham. Good challenge in there by Simmons, wins it back, chip through the middle, a chance here for Tottenham to double the lead, but Anton gets across well, covers and gets the ball away. Svensson will keep it in play, and Dortmund will come away on the left hand side up towards the halfway line. Brings it back now to Ben Sabini, and Dortmund will slow things down, halt the momentum they're trying to build as it's out to Anton on the right hand side, and plays this back to Schlotterbeck. Zanke moves right, closes down Bellingham, and Schlotterbeck gets it back out to the left hand side now for Ben Sabini, still inside of Dortmund's half. He's got plenty of space, can take this up towards the halfway line. Bellingham comes short, under pressure retrieves the ball out to the left hand side. It's behind Svensson, who can't keep it in play, and Tottenham will have a throw in on the right hand side. It's taken quickly by Romero, and the referee's pulled this back and given it as a throw in now to Dortmund, saying it was a foul throw by Christian Romero. Not something you see very often at this level, a foul throw. And it's a shame because Tottenham had players over on that right hand side because Dortmund weren't alert. Played now from Svensson to Bellingham and back to Anton, all the way back to Kobel inside his 6-yard box. He'll take this to the edge of the area, plays it out to Anton, closed down by Spence, back to Kobel, and now out to Anton, and it's time for Simmons to move across. Anton can't get this away. It's blocked off Simmons. Plays it back to his goalkeeper under pressure from Solanke, who wins the ball back inside the area. Tottenham with players over again can't get the cross into the box. Archie Gray tries to win it back on the edge of the area, and Adeyemi will come away. Plays it forward now to Brandt. His pass inside to Gurass is intercepted, and it's out to Spence. Spence into his own half through Doggy, and Tottenham will just relax in possession and bring Vicario back into the game. Must be wondering if he was going to get another touch at this point. Out to Danso. Now to Poro. Over the top down the right hand side. Now with Odobert. Beats Slotterbeck too easily. Takes this into the area. Plays in the box. Sends it towards Simmons. Simmons' efforts blocked. Turned behind for another Tottenham corner on the right hand side. Well, if this is the Tottenham that's going to be performing for the rest of the season, there'll certainly be no more questions asked over Thomas Frank's position in the dugout. They really are taking this game to Borussia Dortmund. A side that's really struggling to get the ball outside of their own half currently. And there was potential, a VAR check for a handball against Bellingham just a moment ago on the left hand side. The referee's just having a word with Christian Romero and Schlotterbeck. There is a potential penalty check going on. VAR are having a look over this to make a decision. So what happened was on the left hand side, Spence has gone in for a challenge with Couto, and it's ricocheted off of the shin of Couto, and then it's caught around the hip and the arm area of Joe Bellingham. And the question at the moment is his arms, or are his arms in a natural position down by his side, tucked into his inside? Now, it depends on just which part they want to say the ball's touched first. It has definitely touched his arm up towards the interior of his elbow. And it's whether this has changed the trajectory of the ball enough to award Tottenham a penalty. Well, there's a laugh going on and a chuckle from the Dortmund dugout. The penalty has been waved away. The check is over, and it will be a Tottenham corner on the right-hand side. Outswinger from Poro. Plays it short to Odobert. Now to Simmons. Cross goes in towards the back post. Caught and held by Kobel. Takes this towards the edge of the area. Looks for a quick outlet. Sends it route one towards Adeyemi, who's beaten his man. And he takes this to the edge of the area. Can't get the shot away. The ball gets caught up in his feet. And Udogi is back and wins it back for Tottenham on the edge of their own area. But that's the second time Adeyemi's had a chance bearing down on goal. And Tottenham have had to make up the ground. Be very careful. It's all well and good keeping an eye on Serhou Guirassy, but there's also Brandt and Adeyemi, who are dangerous attacking players for Dortmund. Simmons plays this back to Gray on the edge of his area, now all the way back to Vicario inside the 6-yard box. Guirassy gets there and he has to get the ball away. Put his arm up immediately, accepted the fault, and it's going to be Dortmund ball on their right hand side. It's going to be a throw-in from equal with the edge of the 6-yard box. Then taken by Couto to Bellingham. On the edge of the area, plays it across to Nmeka. Now to Ben Sabani. Back to Svensson. And back to Ben Sabani. Inside to Schlotterbeck. Chips over to the right-hand side. Switched over, in fact, but can't be kept in play by Couto. And it's going to be a throw-in now on the left-hand side for Tottenham. And Udogi will not be in a rush to get to this. Well, the long ball over from Kobel has twice caught Tottenham on the back foot defensively, and it's allowed Adeyemi to break through, but he's got the ball caught up in his feet on both occasions, as Tottenham have got themselves back in numbers. Now it's with Solanke at the halfway line. Out to Poro. Plenty of space on the right-hand side to take it into Dortmund's half. On his right-hand side, he's got more support. Gives it to Odobert. And now back to Bergvall. Through the middle to Simmons. Back to Bergvall on the edge of the area, across the middle. Now with Udogi. Further left to Spence on the edge of the area. Can't get a cross in as he's closed down by Couto. Will take it towards the corner flag, and he gets in to beat Couto. Into the area, brings it back. Shot goalwards by Solanke. Can't hit the target. Gets caught up in the feet of Poro, and away comes Svensson on the left-hand side. Plays it to Brandt by the touchline. Hasn't got much support forward, and his pass goes towards Bergvall. Slides in for the challenge on Nmeka, And a free kick to Dortmund on the edge of their own area. But again, Spence on that left-hand side. He's just having so much fun beating Couto. Multiple times in this first half so far, he's had the run. And even when the ball's been at his feet and he's up against him in one-on-one battles, it's all going in favour of Tottenham at the moment. Poro's got the same on the right-hand side. Odobert has, in fact, as well. And on the left-hand side, Spence is just having the game of his life at the moment. Free kick switched over to the right-hand side. Adeyemi can't keep it in play. And Tottenham will have a throw-in inside their own half. Udogie to take. Still with support alongside him. Goes short all the way back to Romero. Now inside to Gray and out to Udogie. Towards the halfway line. Tackled by Schlotterbeck. Gives the ball to Nmeka. Inside of the centre circle now. Across it goes to Ben Sabani. And out to Anton. Anton down right for Couto. Now Adeyemi. Turn on the ball. Plays it back towards the halfway line to Schlotterbeck. Out to the left hand side for Svensson. And now Schlotterbeck inside of the centre circle. Forward to Guirassy. Lays this ball off to Svensson. Up against Romero. Goes into the tackle there with Simmons, and it's going to be a free kick to Tottenham, and we'll see our first yellow card of the evening. And it will go to Svensson on the left hand side for Dortmund. He just knocked the ball a bit too far away from him. That's an awful challenge. It's gone quite far up the shin of Xavi Simmons. It's very dangerous. It wouldn't surprise me if we may even get a VAR check on a potential red card for a challenge like that. You've seen them given. I think it is a yellow card. The yellow card is the on-field decision, and we are going to get a VAR check for a potential red card. Well, Svensson has knocked the ball away, and it's too far away from himself that he's had to make that lunge, and he's shown the studs. And now the referee's been called over to have a look at the screen. Well, Dortmund have struggled to get themselves into this game, and if it does turn out to be a red card for Svensson, it is only going to get tougher. Now, it's not very far under the kneecap where this challenge has gone in from Svensson. Yeah, I think this is going to result in a red card. We've seen these given before in all types of competitions, and it's Svensson's the master of his own downfall. He's knocked the ball as he's tried to drag it back, and then he's had to stretch his left foot out to get to it. It's away from Pedro Porro. And sorry, it's Wilson Odobert that's gone in for the challenge. It's just underneath the knee. It's a very dangerous challenge, and VAR have said to the referee, go and have a look at the screen, have a second look. And this means that he's going to overturn his on-field decision. That is exactly what's going to happen. Svensson is being dismissed. So the battle, the hill that Dortmund had to climb against a very, very strong Tottenham performance in the opening 25 minutes is now looking more of a mountain. Dortmund, who had one eye on the automatic qualification places from this Champions League, now will have a bigger mammoth task up against Inter Milan in a week's time. But they'll be doing it without Svensson, and they're also going to have to go without Svensson for the next 65 minutes of this game. And I think that is the right decision from the officials. It's an awful challenge. And as much as Svensson might want to have protested it, he's walked off almost like he expected that to be the outcome. He was up against Danso and against Romero, and as he's turned back, the ball's knocked a good yard away from him, and he's just stretched his foot out. He's shown the studs. He's scraped them just below the knee. Odobert is able to continue, which is the good news for Tottenham fans. What could potentially be the better news is that Dortmund have been reduced to 10 men. No change at the moment from the visitors' camp, but we'll see how that progresses as the long ball over the top is away from Schlotterbeck up towards Brandt. Can't control the ball, and Romero takes this out to the right-hand side and plays it to Pedro Porro, who now has got a bit more space on that right-hand side since the dismissal of Svensson. This pass inside to Bergvall, now to Archie Gray. Dortmund yet to have a shot registered in this game at all. And there is an old saying, of course, in this sport where sometimes a side can play better with 10 players than with 11. And Normally that is a side that was already performing at a relatively good standard prior to the dismissal. But an integral part of this Dortmund side has seen them reduced to 10 men for a silly, rather questionable challenge as Spence takes this towards the corner flag and plays it back to Simmons. Cross goes in towards the middle, towards the back post. And Solanke was making a late run but couldn't divert it goalwards. It will be a goal kick to Dortmund. But Pedro Porro now feeling that with the dismissal of Svensson, that right-hand side, that area where he felt sometimes he might need to have a bit more of a defensive responsibility, it's opened up for him as there now is a gap on that side. And it's really the question for Dortmund whether they bring Brandt back into that left side position as a left wing back, maybe restricts how much of an attacking prowess they can give, or do they leave that gap and keep inviting the pressure from Pedro Porro? He is somebody that, despite his defensive responsibilities, can be quite clinical in the final third, albeit more so from set pieces. He has been known to latch on the end of those crosses occasionally, and it wouldn't surprise me if it's something that they try to utilise a little bit more as Solanke retrieves the ball inside of his own half and plays it back to Danso. To his left he's got Ramiro for support, bypasses him and plays it across to Udogie up towards the halfway line, plays it to Simmons and back to Udogie. Space now opening up on this left-hand side as Javi Simmons will take the ball from his left back. Distributes this out to the right-hand side, and there's a huge gap there again for Porro. It's allowed Odobert to move through the middle. Cross across the 6-yard box was asking for a Tottenham player to latch onto the end of it, but it's just bounced behind for a goal kick. It's a dangerous cross from Pedro Porro. He's given plenty of time to take a touch, hold on to possession, pick his place, and then play it across the middle, and that is where you need a striker gambling in that final third, and maybe that's the match fitness from Dominic Solanke with his first start of the season. Maybe a Dominic Solanke that's played multiple times throughout this season, you're looking at a very different outcome. Goal kick taken short from Ben Sabani to Kobel. Away it goes into the opposition half, headed down by Ramiro, controlled by Gray out to Udogie. Still on the left hand side, forward to Simmons, nice little flick on to Spence, heads this inside, one back by Anton, into the middle for Mecca, and back it goes to Schlotterbeck. Will control possession now inside of his own half. Tottenham allowing this at the moment as it goes across to Anton. They're not in a rush to close this down, allowing Dortmund to hold on to possession deep inside of their own half. Now across to Couto, and all the way back to Kobel, and out to the left hand side now for Ben Sabani. Inside now for Bellingham, outside of the centre circle to Guirassy, will take control of possession. Plays it out to Couto as it looks more like Dortmund have reverted to a back four now. Anton and Schlotterbeck are going to be your two centre-backs. As out on the left-hand side, Ben Sabani gets the ball. He'll be more the left-back. Forward now to Brandt. And into his own half to Schlotterbeck. Turns back on the ball and down the left-hand side for Ben Sabani. Holds on to possession inside to Mecca, under pressure from Bergvall. Has to go back towards his own half. Can't find an outlet to press further forward. It's taken a good few minutes, but Dortmund have worked their way into Tottenham's half. Out to the left-hand side, played inside to Guirassy, but won back by Danso to Bergvall, and Danso now has time in possession and goes back to Vicario. But that looks more like the approach that Dortmund are going to try and take. Adeyemi playing on the right-hand side of what looks like a forward three at the moment. Brandt on the left and Guirassy through the middle. Now with Ramiro taking the ball up towards the halfway line. Bellingham sitting with Mecca, and then your back four will be Ben Sabani on the left-hand side, Schlotterbeck and Anton as your centre-backs, and Couto on the right-hand side. Simmons now inside to Udogie, all the way back to Ramiro and across the middle to Bergvall. On his right-hand side he's got Danso for support, out to Porro. Doesn't have that space as he did just a few moments ago, so whatever the changes that Dortmund have brought in has certainly changed things on that right-hand side. Tottenham will have to work a bit harder now to try and find some space. Up towards Solanke, back towards his own half under pressure, now to Bergvall. Turn on the ball inside the centre circle, switches out left, controlled by Couto to Adeyemi, plays this all the way back to his keeper, chased down by Solanke, and away it goes first time by Kobel, up towards the halfway line, headed down by Danso, flicked on by Porro, now with Simmons. Back to Porro inside of Dortmund's half. He plays it back to Danso, who's got plenty of time, and it allows Tottenham just to regroup things in the middle of the park. Inside now to Archie Gray, up against Guirassy, and now Danso. And Gray in some space to Simmons, to Odobert. Simmons over the top. Some space here for Porro, closed down now by Schlotterbeck. On the edge of the area, now to Bergvall. And now Gray. Out to Porro. Can he get a cross in? No, he chooses to go back to Gray, and now back to the halfway line to Danso. Out to Udogie as Dortmund shift in unison to the right-hand side. Spence finds some space here for Udogie. Across comes Schlotterbeck. Udogie's tripped. And it's gone behind for a goal kick to Dortmund as Anton plays this ball back to his goalkeeper as he left the ball to go behind for the goal kick as Spence diverted it away from the Dortmund centre-back. Just seems to have slowed down a little bit after that red card. And that will suit Borussia Dortmund. It's allowed them to just regather themselves. It is a goal, though, that separates the two sides. It is a goal that will move Tottenham into an automatic qualification place as it's played short back to Kobel from kick-off, and Solanke closes him down. He has to dribble the ball past him before playing this out to Schlotterbeck up towards the halfway line. Out to Ben Sabani by the touchline, pass inside to Anton. Now to Nmeke, sitting in almost as an additional centre-back to allow the two centre-backs to spread out either side. Now to Anton. Tries to get it through the middle for Adeyemi, intercepted by Danso. Now to Udogie, across to Gray and Bergvall onto the edge of the area for Danso, and out to the right-hand side. Nicely worked by Tottenham to get away with the ball. And now Porro will take this down the right-hand side into the opposition half with purpose. Plays it to Odobert. Controls possession as Dortmund are forced back quite deep in numbers, and it allows Tottenham to escape any danger. Porro down the right hand side. Odebert's going to have a job to keep it in play, but he gets there and stops it from going behind. Brandt dispossesses him though and gets the ball away up towards the halfway line. Brought down by the thigh of Danso, still in Dortmund's half. Out to the right hand side for Porro, much to the applause of the Tottenham supporters. Back to Bergvall, and now Porro into the last 10 minutes of regular time at the end of this first half. Now to Danso, across the middle to Ramiro inside of the centre circle. Now to the left hand side for Udogie. Out to Spence by the touchline, inside to Udogie again. And now to Archie Gray. Turns towards the halfway line and plays it back to Ramiro, and Tottenham just slowing things down. Now to Javi Simmons and back to Archie Gray. Pedro Porro's calling for a switch over to the right hand side. Instead they're working it across, and it's with Danso. There's still space opening up for the Tottenham right back, and he's got this on the touchline on the edge of the area. Cross comes in towards the middle. Solanke heads it on. It's with Spence inside the area. He's got time, can't get his shot away. Cross comes back in towards the middle, headed away to the edge of the area. Header won though by Danso over Garassi, and it's cleared away back to the halfway line. There's nobody there for Dortmund, and Ramiro will have time to take control of possession. Again, Porro's making plenty of space on that right-hand side. Ramiro finds him. Can he get a shot away? Instead takes it more wide, gets the cross in, and it's cleared away by Bellingham. And it's going to be a throw-in on the right-hand side for Tottenham, as now Dortmund supporters will get behind their side as they're throwing everything they've got at it defensively. Throw-in taken now by Bergvall. Cross comes in from Archie Gray towards the middle, headed goalwards. It's up in the air though, and Spence will send this goalwards. Can't keep it down, and it's going to be a goal kick to Dortmund. For those that aren't aware, of course, of the change of format for the Champions League just a couple of years ago, it will be a case of the top 8 at the end of the 8 games. This is game 7 of 8. At the end of the 8 games, the top 8 sides will qualify automatically for the next stage of the Champions League. Any sides placed between 9th and 24th when the 8 games have concluded will reach into a playoff position, and sides placed between 25th and 36th will be eliminated from the competition. Before this game kicked off, Tottenham was in 11th place, Borussia Dortmund in 10th, both on 11 points. This goal means that Tottenham move up into 5th place as it stands. Dortmund will sit in 11th place, and they've got a big challenge up next, of course, against Inter Milan. They are at home, so there's a bit of an advantage for them there. Inter Milan are trailing at the moment to Arsenal by 2-1. Tottenham instead will make a trip to Frankfurt, who currently sit in 32nd place, but they'll need a win to make the playoff position. So it's still all to play for between the two sides and their respective oppositions in the next Champions League game, irrespective of what happens here this evening. But as it stands, Tottenham lead by 1-0, and they are playing quite comfortably in possession at the moment as Simmons gets this into Dortmund's half. Across the middle now to Danso outside of the centre circle, out to the right hand side for Porro, inside for Odobert, back to Porro, and Odobert will take this into the area. Options across the middle, plays it to Solanke, and it's found its way through. Tottenham have doubled their lead, courtesy of Dominic Solanke on his first start of the season. I don't know how much he expected the ball to go in that way, but it's come off the back of the heel and just taken a nick off the far post on its way through. Gobel tried to close the angle down at the near post, It was almost perfectly placed by Dominic Solanke, but the build-up by Pedro Porro and Wilson Odobert can't go unmentioned, because on that right-hand side, they've had to take their time in finding the space, but between Porro and Odobert, they've worked really hard to do so. And as Odobert broke into the area, certainly the flag stayed down, and it's right in doing so. Looking at the replay, Solanke was most certainly in an onside position. The ball's gone between the legs of Anton on its way through, and it's caught off the back heel of Dominic Solanke. If that's the way he intended it, it's a superb finish. If not, it's a goal nonetheless. It's actually bounced off the underside of his left shin onto his right ankle and made its way into the bottom corner. It's a goal nonetheless. It's given Tottenham a well-deserved 2-0 lead over Dortmund. And now it's an insurmountable challenge for Borussia Dortmund heading into this second half. Down to 10 men. Tottenham have been in nothing but control. And I think Dortmund are just biding their time now to try and see things out until half-time, where they will have a better chance to regroup. But it's one of the most comfortable performances that Thomas Frank's side has seen. And if there was any question before this game over Thomas Frank and his intentions of remaining in post here at Tottenham, his side are certainly fighting his cause at the moment as the ball goes across the middle towards Spencer. Almost an immediate second goal in quick succession for Tottenham, but Dortmund come away with the ball with Bellingham. He loses out to Bergvall, and it's now with Porro on the right hand side to Odobert on the edge of the area. Options in the middle. Cross goes in towards Solanke. Can't get his shot away. Simmons will though. Lent back too early. Into the crowd the ball goes, and it'll be a goal kick for Borussia Dortmund as we get a slight chuckle from the attacking midfielder of the hosts, knowing that his chances are coming. They've got the insurance goal that they were desperate to get, and now it's just a case of can they give themselves the goal difference that could really be the difference maker come the end of this competition on whether they make it into the next round or not, or whether they have to go through the playoffs. Neither of these sides are realistically expected to fall out of the playoffs and not qualify at all. But giving yourself that extra week of recovery, that extra week to not have to worry about a performance, will help both of these sides, especially Tottenham, who, as mentioned just before kick-off, are quite injury hit at the moment. Head away by Danso, flicked on by Gray, towards Bellingham at the halfway line, back towards Adeyemi, away by Romero. Simmons will try and get there ahead of Anton, and it's fallen now to Nmeka. His pass towards Adeyemi is deflected, and away it goes by Porro, taking no chances. Ball's deep into Borussia Dortmund's half, and it's controlled by Couto. Across the middle now to Baisabani, and now to Anton inside of his own half, who will try and cheer his side on as we enter into the final 5 minutes of regular time. And Nmeka turns back on the ball on the edge of the area. Across it goes, well read by Udogie, and away come Tottenham onto the right hand side now with Odobert, with plenty of space to go forward. Closed down now, and it's well won back by Baisabani. And Baisabani can't get his pass away, and Bergvall wins it back. Out on the right hand side, tackle made by Bellingham. It's going to be a throw in to Dortmund as well. The linesman saying it's deflected back off of Udogie on that right hand side, and we are preparing to see a substitution on the way for Dortmund. Is it too little too late just before half time? 5 minutes left to go. Perhaps there is something that's been noticed as to why Tottenham are controlling possession all too comfortably, and something that may change things about. As Romero will take his time coming up towards the halfway line. Out to the left hand side for Udogie. Now to Spence into the opposition half, outside of the boot, down the line. Solanke's going to chase this. He's in a race with Anton, who gets the ball away to Couto. Couto's pass inside, controlled by Guirassy. He's got no one behind him for support. Has to lay this off to Adeyemi, but his pass goes straight to Odobert, out to the right hand side for Porro, again in plenty of space. Simmons comes close for support, instead plays it back to Bergvall. Now to Simmons, out to the right hand side. It's blocked by Adeyemi, and Mecca's clearance is then blocked by Simmons, and it's with Tottenham in possession once again inside of Dortmund's half. Not for the first time this game. They are quite comfortably in possession. Inside now to Gray. Into the opposition half. Chip ball over towards Porro. Into the area he goes. He's up against Anton. Can't get his shot away. Gives it to Odobert. Left footed effort saved by Kobel, who goes down inside the 6 yard box and takes his time holding on to the ball, allowing his defenders to regroup. And just as that first touch was taken by Porro inside of the area, he seemed to find himself off balance, but Odobert still managed to get a shot away. And as much as Kobel's got the ball away, up towards Guirassy, and has been won back by Archie Gray. He plays this across to Danso, inside of the centre circle, out to the right-hand side for Poro, by the touchline. Has support alongside him, now to Bergvall. Back to Danso, still outside of the centre circle. To his left he's got Romero, as Guirassy will have to shift across to help out. Now to Simmons, first time over the top towards Solanke. Headed away by Schlotterbeck. Down for Bellingham. Schlotterbeck under pressure, won back by Solanke. It's now with Simmons out to the left-hand side. He's dragged down by Anton, and it's a free kick in a very dangerous position to Tottenham. And how unattainable will this lead be if Tottenham can get themselves a third just before half-time? 2 minutes of regular time left towards the break, and the referee's just setting up where this free kick will be taken from. Spencer's the one stood over this free kick as Romero comes forward, as does Danso. At the back post, Solanke's on the edge of the area. Back is Guirassy. Everybody, in fact, is back for Borussia Dortmund. And Spencer stepped away, and Poro's going to be the one to take this free kick, unsurprisingly. Seems to be the unchallenged set-piece taker for Tottenham. And we've seen plenty of times just why. Crossover towards the back post. Plenty of space there for Solanke, who tries to head it back in towards the middle, but it goes behind for a goal kick. And it will be a goal kick to Dortmund that they are in no rush whatsoever to take. As Kobel rolls the ball out, it rolls all the way to the penalty spot, and he's had to fetch it himself. Tottenham are in no way trying to get the goalkeeper to hurry up either. They'll be happy to take this 2-goal lead into the break. Kobel from the left-hand side of the 6-yard box will take the goal kick out to his left-hand side. Guirassy comes short to head this on, but it's not going to get there first, and it's not going to make its way through to Brandt as it's won back by Romero. Out to the left-hand side for Udogie, up towards the halfway line. He's got Spence on the left-hand side for support, plays it down the line. He's up against Couto at the moment, brings it back inside, and it's with Spence. Turns back towards the corner flag, plays it back to Gray, now to Simmons, and now to Spence by the touchline, and now Simmons, and now to Gray. Back to Romero at the halfway line, into the final 20 seconds of regular time, over the top, all the way through to Spence, turned away by Anton. Free kick given to Borussia Dortmund for a handball against Dijed Spence. Ball just took a bounce and caught off the arm, the right arm of Spence. It was a trailing right arm. And 3 minutes of added time will be given at the end of this first half. We are now into that 3 minutes, and that will be courtesy of 2 VAR checks we've had. One of a turned down penalty against Joe Bellingham, and the other that was a dismissal for Svensson. Free kick taken. Romero's got time to bring this down, but then he's closed down and gets the ball away. Brought down by Bellingham inside of the centre circle into the opposition half. Trailing harm catches the face there of Romero, who's gone down holding on to his face inside of the centre circle, and it will be a free kick to Tottenham. Joe Bellingham will just step away from the situation. It's nothing intentional, it's just as you move your arms towards going forward, you're holding a player off, and when there's a height difference, as there is, you're bound to catch a player mistakenly. And no booking, says the referee on this occasion. Thomas Frank just asking his coaching staff their opinion, as Romero from just inside of the centre circle was about to take the free kick, but instead Bergvall comes across and plays it out to Udogie. Now it goes to Archie Gray, still with plenty of space on that right hand side is Poro. Instead he goes across to Danso. Bergvall's alongside him, now to Gray, plays this back to Romero inside of his own half, out left to Udogie. Udogie back to Romero, has Gray to his left hand side, instead plays it inside to Bergvall. Bergvall out to the right hand side for Odegaard. Odegaard back to Romero inside of the centre circle. Out to his left hand side for Udogie. He's got Spence one over, finds him by the touchline. Simmons makes the overlapping run. It opens up some space here for Udogie, who plays it inside to Gray. Now to Simmons by the touchline. Now Spence, and back to Udogie into his own half to Ramiro. Still out on that right hand side. Pedro Porro's found himself by the touchline in plenty of space. As now Danso gets the ball, he's screaming out for the ball with his arms in the air, trying to request some possession out on that right hand side. Both goals in fact have come from that right hand side. As Simmons gets there ahead of Schlotterbeck, passes it out left for Spence, but it's behind him and it will be a throw in to Dortmund on that right hand side. And across goes Couto to take this throw in. Looks to his left hand side for any kind of support, looks to his right for any further support down the line. It's going to have to be Guirassy that comes short. He's got nobody else in that area. All of the channels are blocked out by Tottenham, really closing in Dortmund inside of their own half as the throwing goes 10 yards down that right hand side, and that will bring the first half to a conclusion. And courtesy of a goal from Christian Ramiro, doubled by Dominic Solanke, we go in at the break. A much deserved Tottenham Hotspur side at the break after the dismissal of Svensson. They were preparing a couple heading in towards half time. Ryerson and Chan have both come on. Guirassy and Brandt, the two that have been removed from the game. Guirassy was really struggling to get into the game, and Brandt moved into unfamiliar territory after the dismissal of Svensson. And we'll see just how Dortmund can approach and attack this second half as Tottenham were in full control heading in towards the break. Dortmund without a shot in the entire of the first half. So just to let you know of the lineups, there's no changes to Tottenham's side in this second half. Vicario, Porro, Ramiro, Danso, Udogie, Bergvall, Gray, Odebert, Simmons, Spence and Solanke is your starting lineup for the hosts into this second half. The 11 heading into this second half for Dortmund are Kobel, Anton, Schlotterbeck, Bensabani, Couto, Bellingham and Mecca, Adeyemi, Chan and Ryerson. I say starting 11, of course it's starting 10 into this second half after the dismissal of Svensson for a nasty challenge on Odebert. Now it's with Mecca on the edge of the area. Back it goes to Bensabani. Inside to Chan. Now to Mecca on the edge of the area. Brings it back to Chan. Cross comes in, it's blocked. Falls to Simmons on the edge of the area. Can't get the ball away. Schlotterbeck will get there at the halfway line and plays it across to Bensabani. Out to the left hand side by the touchline. In some space is Ryerson. Brings this back inside for Chan. Chan across the middle for Schlotterbeck. Takes it to the edge of the area. His pass inside is dispossessed by Bergvall. Comes away with the ball and is tripped, and it will be a free kick now to Tottenham on the edge of their area. Looks like Ryerson's going to move out onto that left hand side. Chan playing a central role. And Adeyemi will perhaps work as the lone striker as Guirassy did towards the end of the first half. Now brought down by Udogie. Back to Spence. Tackle made on that right hand side, inside to Gray, to the edge of the area now with Ramiro. He goes across the middle all the way back to Vicario, out to the right hand side now for Porro. Porro tries to beat the substitute Ryerson, who wins it back for Dortmund in a dangerous position. Now to Mecca, dribbles this inside. Bergvall sticks out his leg, it falls to Bellingham. Can't get his shot away, and now the free kick's been given in Dortmund's favour. About 20 yards out in a dangerous position, a chance for Dortmund to pull one back. It's knocked away from Bergvall. Stuck his leg out and tripped, and Mecca on his way through. That's familiarity, of course, from his days in the Premier League by playing Tottenham. Back up to his feet is Mecca. Nothing too dangerous. He stood over this free kick, but also Ryerson is. And Ryerson, I'm expecting to be the one that will have the strike at goal. Emre Can's just a couple of yards to his right. He's taken the armband from Schlotterbeck. As Vicario is just organising his wall. Ryerson now the lone person stood over this free kick. And we've got a Dortmund wall just in front of the Tottenham wall. Three players making up that as the ball goes over the wall and just wide. And there'll be a goal kick for Tottenham, and it was actually closer than first expected from Ryerson as the ball was just sailing away. Vicario stood almost statue-like in the centre of his goal as he watched the ball go over the wall and wide. And the goal kick will be taken by Romero from the 6-yard box. And plays this to his left for Udogie. Puts this down the line of the left-hand side. Tackle comes in there from Anton. Passes this inside to Adeyemi. Now to Unmeka. Back to Adeyemi, looks for support on his left but doesn't have much. In the end goes down under a challenge, wants a free kick, but away comes Odobert on that right hand side. Porro clears the ball through the middle. Solanke's going to chase this down as it goes all the way through to Kobo inside of the area and plays this out to his right hand side now for Couto. Couto dribbles this away from Spence and plays it back to Anton. Anton across the middle now for Schlotterbeck and out to Ben Sabani. On that left hand side, Ryerson takes his first touch and then it's run back by Porro. And to Odobert, wins it back off Ben Sabani. Odobert gets through the middle past Ryerson also, and then Archie Gray's pulled back. Referee gives nothing for it. Clearance is made into the middle and dispossessed by Udogie. Plays it back to Danso, and now to Romero. Out to the left hand side for Spence. Back inside to Romero, now to Udogie. Just outside of the area. And to Udogie inside of his own half. Now across to Romero. Outside of the centre circle. Through the middle for Bergval. Bergval's first touch just lays the ball off to his right hand side. Now with Odobert by the touchline. Dribbles this back inside. Now to Archie Gray. Still space out right for Porro. It's just ahead of him though, and it rolls out of play for a throw in on the left hand side for Dortmund. It will be Ryerson that goes across to take. They'll drop back a few yards out of familiar positioning. But it's needs must at this point for Dortmund. Not too many supporting options available for him. Again, Tottenham doing well to cut out those channels. Eventually gets this off to Chan. Simmons is there putting him under pressure though, and Chan will get this ball away. Brought down by Adeyemi, but won back by Bergval. And all the way back to Danso. Lets this run across his body and plays it back to Vicario inside of the area. With support either side. Takes his time as he dribbles this to the edge of the area. Adeyemi will be hesitant in closing him down as Romero's still to his left hand side. Bergval's got Unmeka just behind him. Plays this out now eventually to his left to Romero. Now to Udogie by the touchline, now to Spence, inside to Simmons. Simmons lays this off for Udogie, and Tottenham now on the break. He's still got Spence to his left hand side on the edge of the area. Pulls it back to Solanke. First touch nearly beats Emre Can. His outstretched left leg wins the ball back and plays this forward now for Bellingham. This pass away is blocked off Udogie and falls to Spence, now to Simmons, but Bellingham wins it back. Persistence on that left hand side, but he can't keep control of possession and just runs out of space. And it's out for a Tottenham throw-in on their left-hand side. Udogie across to take this. Throws it back all the way to Danso. And now the referee will bring a pause to the throw-in being taken. Emre Can just saying to the referee that he felt it was a foul throw. And now we will get the Tottenham throw for the second attempt. And it's thrown from Spence back to Udogie. All the way back to Romero inside of his own half. Now across the middle for Danso. Moving across comes Unmeka. And now Bergval. Nice little back heel to knock this past Chan, but he's caught Chan off guard and off balance as well, and Chan stuck his leg out and tripped him. And it'll be a free kick now to Tottenham inside of Dortmund's half. Bergval comes across and gets back to his feet. And Romero will be the one fully expect to take this free kick. Just inside of Dortmund's half. He plays this across to Udogie. Now to Spence. Tries to beat his man on that left hand side. He had the run of him the first half. He managed to win the one-on-one battles as well. This second half so far, he seems to have struggled a bit more. Maybe a bit more of a watch from Couto. He's not diving in as much. Now to Spence, back to Simmons on the edge of the area. Sends this goalwards, but it was always rising into the stands it goes. Going to be a goal kick now for Coble. As has been the theme in this game so far, it tends to be his centre-backs playing the short goal kicks. Especially with the high press for Tottenham, it's risky. Solanke just stays on the edge of the area. He's also got Simmons there on his left-hand side now, also willing to apply this pressure. Schlotterbeck will take a short goal kick inside the 6-yard box to Kobel, who will take a touch onto his right foot and distribute this upfield towards Adeyemi. Headed away, Bellingham wins it back in midfield, and there's a foul there on Adeyemi. It'll be a free kick to Dortmund, taken quickly. In goes the challenge there from the substitute Ryerson. Can't get to the ball, nearly catches the ankles of Pedro Porro, but Tottenham get the ball back to the goalkeeper, and Vicario gets this away up towards the halfway line. Solanke just backing into Schlotterbeck, wins it back for Dortmund though. Schlotterbeck comes away out of the centre circle into Tottenham's half, forward to Adeyemi. Strong right foot in from Danso, wins it back for Tottenham momentarily. And Dortmund back inside of their own half, get it back. Now with Chan. Cross to Anton. Now to Schlotterbeck inside of the centre circle, and now Dortmund can work their way into Tottenham's half, out to Bensabani. Now to the left hand side, one back by Porro. Now to Odegaard, back to Porro. Odegaard's continued his run down the right hand side, and across comes Schlotterbeck to put it behind for a throw in on the right hand side. And across comes Pedro Porro. Very different Dortmund side in this second half to what we saw in the first. They were on the back foot for the majority of the first 45, and now we'll have physios coming on just to check on Bergvall, who did receive a bit of a knock just a few moments ago. And we talk about how this performance may be one that saves the job, or at least prolongs the dismissal of Thomas Frank from the Tottenham dugout. We know the Tottenham board have a tendency, regardless of Champions League performances, to consider the departure of managers. Of course, we remember Maurizio Pochettino, after winning the Champions League with Tottenham, saw himself dismissed a mere month later. Of course, by this point the season was already over. Emre Can's just trying to help Bergvall back to his feet after he's received the spray from the physio around the ankle and shin area. Don't imagine there will be too much of a risk being ran by leaving him on the field. Up next, they make a trip at the weekend to Burnley on Saturday afternoon, before going back to Germany a week tomorrow, where they will take on Frankfurt in the final group stage game of this year's Champions League, as it's thrown back by Porro to Danso, all the way back to Vicario, now out to Ramiro. Now Doggy inside to Simmons, and back to Vicario on the penalty spot. Takes us towards the edge of the area. Adeyemi will close him down as Vicario plays this through the middle. Now for Simmons, out to the left hand side for Ramiro. Ramiro still on the edge of the area, plays this back to his goalkeeper, and Vicario will wait for the pressure to come his way from Joe Bellingham. Plays this out to Danso, now to Porro, down the right hand side for Odegaard, who's still under pressure, has space to go back to Danso, and now Vicario will get the ball away further afield. Headed away though by Anton, flicked on by Chan, brought down there by Mecca, and it will be a free kick to Dortmund from the edge of the centre circle. Schlotterbeck's the one that's gone down, and he's holding on to his ankle, feeling it was a very, very harsh challenge that he received. Just looking at the replay of it, Solanke may have caught the ankle on the way through. I don't think it was anything intentional. I don't think it's as bad of an outcome for Schlotterbeck as he's making out whilst on the ground currently. Waiting for physio attention, as they are now on the field just to see to him. Just going to look again at the replay. He has stood on the ankle there of Schlotterbeck, and Solanke's turned back knowing that that's exactly what he's done, but it's not intentional. It's whilst he's making the run across to close down the header from Anton that he's caught the ankle of Schlotterbeck. It's all just an incident that happens in football, I guess, sometimes, but Schlotterbeck's taken it personally and wants at least a yellow card being distributed to Dominic Solanke, and I don't think that's what the referee's going to go with. And he has been just instructed that he's going to need to leave the field. And now we will see a yellow card being distributed. Not quite sure who the referee's chosen to give that to. We've got substitutes available for Tottenham just being sent out to warm up. Free kick from just inside of Tottenham's half for Borussia Dortmund has been given. Over the left hand side towards Ryerson, headed away by Porro, and it'll be a throw in on the left hand side for Dortmund. A long throw expected from Ryerson in the area. Players around the 6-yard box if you can get this throw in into a dangerous position. Up from the back comes Schlotterbeck and Ben Sabani and Anton all in there. Simmons on the edge of the area, potentially launching a counter-attack for Tottenham. Throwing doesn't quite make it past the 18-yard box. It's headed away by Porro, and Simmons is going to give chase to this. Chan gets there first, plays it all the way back to his goalkeeper, and it slows things down for the potential counter-attack for Tottenham. He plays this out to Chan now, and over the top it goes up towards Mecca, headed away by Danso, brought down by Adeyemi. He's got some space to turn and go out right with this, but he runs into the path of Udogie, beats his man, and then Udogie regains the ground and puts it behind for a throw-in. And now Bergval's gone down once again, unchallenged, and I think we're going to see that change now, and we're going to see Byfield coming on, and I imagine this is going to be for Bergval in just a moment. He's back to his feet, but he's struggling to carry on playing, so I fully expect that to be the change. This cross comes in and it's away by Ramiro. And out of play for a throw-in, equal with the edge of the 6-yard box on that left-hand side. Throw-in taken quickly, across the middle it goes, struck goalwards by Anton, and behind it goes for a goal kick. And now we'll have that substitution. So Byfield on, Bergval off is the change. Bergval is a player that's actually been quite controlling in the middle of the field so far for Tottenham this afternoon. And hopefully it's nothing too serious of an injury where he's needed to sit down on 3 separate occasions and challenged after an initial knock earlier on in the game. And a like-for-like change for Byfield. And back comes Ramiro to take the goal kick from the left-hand side of the 6-yard box. Adeyemi is just preparing himself to go into the area as it's played by Ramiro short to Vicario. Waits for Adeyemi to get to him and plays this out to Danso on the edge of the area. Up it goes towards Solanke, headed away by Anton, and then back in that direction from Byfield. And Porro is judged to have jumped on the shoulders there of Mecca, and it will be a free kick now to Dortmund as they'll make 2 more changes of their own. Hoping to get something out of this game with a much more inspired second half performance so far. Silva's going to be one of the players coming on, and Adeyemi's going to leave the field. We've got a free kick now on the left hand side that Ryerson will take. Chips in, drifted towards the back post, headed back in towards the middle, and it's brought down by Danso, and then it's cleared away, and the free kick's given in Tottenham's favour for a foul on Udogie from the cross initially put into the box. And now we will see Silva coming on in place of Adeyemi. We'll also see Mecca make way, and it will be Chukwuemeka coming on in his place. So another player with Premier League experience, previously with Chelsea, and he'll be coming on as well. So Silva and Chukwuemeka on, Adeyemi and Mecca off. So 4 changes made by Dortmund. They've only got 1 left at their disposal. Tottenham with 4 still available as it's played out now to Udogie. Back to Solanke, now Udogie for Spence. Back heels back inside, Solanke gets to it. Down the line, back to Solanke, it's ricocheted in his favour, now to Simmons, out to the right hand side, looks for support, gets the pass off to Byfield. Byfield now for Odobert. Tackles one back by Ryerson. Down that left hand side, into Silva. Nice touch to take the ball away. And now to Bellingham, under pressure inside the centre circle, plays it back to Anton. And then to Chan. He's got some space, eventually closed down by Solanke, and out to the right hand side for Bellingham. He's got space opening up on that right, takes it towards the touchline. Back in towards his own half to Anton. And across the middle to Schlotterbeck. To his left hand side he's got Ben Sabani, instead goes through the middle. First touch by Chukwuemeka, loses out on possession, and Archie Gray wins it back now to Simmons. Through the middle he goes, out to Solanke, but won back by Chukwuemeka, who was the one that gave the ball away originally. Now to Chan, and on the right hand side for Couto. Inside to Anton, inside the centre circle, switches this out to the left hand side. Well read and headed away by Byfield, brought down by Odobert, under pressure by Chukwuemeka. Back to Byfield, inside to Danso. First touch is heavy, he's going to be closed down by Silva. Nudge in the back wins Tottenham a free kick on the edge of their own area on the right hand side. Looks to me like Byfield's gone out onto the right back position and Porro's moved into the holding midfield position alongside Archie Gray. Proving again the versatility of that back four and the players amongst that back four that Tottenham have. It'll be Danso to take this free kick as he's just moving Byfield away from close vicinity. This pass off through the middle. Odobert wins it back off with a tackle from Chukwuemeka. Chukwuemeka then gets it back again, and across it goes towards Byfield. Now Odobert, and now with Spence out to the left hand side for Simmons. Spence has continued his run on the left hand side and gets the ball inside the area. It's well read though by Couto, perfectly timed tackle, and then the challenge comes in from Simmons as he calls for more support from the Tottenham fans. It's going to be a throw in on the right hand side for Dortmund on the edge of the area, and we've got Couto down injured, holding onto his shin. It's a good tackle in the end by Simmons. It's just his ankle, his trailing ankle as he's lifted it to try and get it over Simmons on the left foot. It seems to have caught the Tottenham midfielder. It is a good challenge, a fair challenge by Simmons. And the throw in on the right hand side, as back to his feet is Couto. He'll be the one to take the throw in. Through the middle it goes to Chan, well read by Porro. Now to Spence, back to Porro on the edge of the area. Tackle made by Silva, who's back. He's actually now the furthest player back, and he's playing a striker role, so it shows just how deep Dortmund are having to drop to keep Tottenham at bay at the moment. But it stops their outlet as well. They're struggling to get the ball into Tottenham's final third, but no surprise when they're having to bring the striker back to help out just as much as Silva's doing. Now to Schlotterbeck, Ben Sabani to his left, plays it through the middle for Silva, lays this off for Chan, inside of his own half, across to Schlotterbeck again, outside of the centre circle, to his left hand side for Ben Sabani. Through the middle, Chukwuemeka's got time to turn on the ball, takes it into Tottenham's half, out left for Ben Sabani. Down the left hand side for Ryerson. Tackle made by Byfield, and it'll be a throw in on the left hand side for Dortmund. Ryerson takes this short to Ben Sabani, into his own half across the middle to Anton, under pressure from Simmons. Simmons nearly wins it back, but Anton gets the pass off to Schlotterbeck first. Left footed clearance, route one down the left hand side into the channel, headed away by Romero, brought down under pressure by Byfield, loses out to Silva, can't get the shot away, plays it back instead to Chan on the right hand side, finds some support here with Anton, further right to Couto on the edge of the area. Can he get across into the box? Does so towards Silva, heads this goalwards, but it's collected by Vicario inside of the 6-yard box. Didn't seem too dangerous as he rolls this out to the left hand side for Udogie. Spence there for support, back to Udogie on the edge of the area, and now Vicario inside the 6-yard box, out right to Danso, takes it to the edge of the area. Nice first touch by Porro into the channel on the right hand side, but Odegaard had moved more central, and it's going to be a throw into Dortmund now. Just a bit of miscommunication starting to seep in for Tottenham at the moment on that right hand side. Throw-in's taken back to Anton, and now to Chan. Chan out left for Ryerson. Back to Ben Sabani. Into the middle for Schlotterbeck. And now Anton. Out right for Couto. Couto back to Anton. Then to the middle for Schlotterbeck. Schlotterbeck over the top, brought down by Poro. For Archie Gray. Archie Gray loses out, and here we go with Silva driving forward. Tackle made by Ramiro. Falls back still to Anton. Hasn't got much of an outlet and has to go back to Bellingham. Out to the right hand side for Couto. Forced to go towards his own half, and the tackle from Spence puts the ball out of play for a throw-in. And we'll see another Tottenham change on its way. It's Kolo Muani, who was dropped heading into this game to the bench at the expense for Dominic Solanke, who of course has got himself on the score sheet, was the scorer of Tottenham's second goal, albeit with a bit of luck more than judgment on how he managed to get the ball past Kobel, but it's a goal nonetheless, and it's the one that's doubled Tottenham's advantage. But he's going to be substituted, been struggling through injury throughout the first half of this season. Why he struggled to make consistent game time for Spurs, but Kolo Muani will come on in his space. Third different striker of the season for the hosts, of course with Richarlison out injured also. Looks like it will be the two of them splitting game time moving forward. Back now to Ben Sabani. Over the top to Ryerson. Byfield's alongside him. Ryerson's cross comes in towards the middle, headed away by Ramiro, brought down by Poro inside the area. He's got time to turn. There needs to be more of a press from Dortmund. Poro's got time to bring that to the edge of the area. Granted, possession is now back with Dortmund, but could have been so much better for them if they're pressing on a player that's only facing his own goal with no support around him. And now it's with Bellingham. Across the middle it goes. Now to Ben Sabani. Out to Anton. And now to Schlotterbeck inside of the centre circle. Out to Ben Sabani. Drives this forward. Controlled by Bellingham. Tackled by Ramiro. Free kick to Dortmund about halfway between the edge of the area and the halfway line. Chan will step over this free kick, and just as Dortmund looked like they were going to take it quickly to catch Tottenham off guard, the hosts get themselves into a more defensive position. And Chan will instead put the ball into the box and maybe get themselves back on the score sheet, or at least test this Tottenham defence. They haven't had too much to do so far. As Chan goes over towards the back post, it's headed away by Byfield into a dangerous position from Anton, but out comes Vicario, who catches that on the edge of the 6-yard box. It was judged well as he rolls this out now for Udogie. He's got Spence forward for support. Simmons in the channel. Udogie plays this to Simmons, back to Udogie inside, takes this to the edge of the area, brings it back to Poro, out to the right hand side, plenty of space here now for Odegaard. Will drive this to the edge of the area, options in the middle, decides to go it alone, into the area, brings it back, still with Udogie, doesn't get a shot away now to Simmons. Can he get a shot away? Dribbles it further into the 6-yard box, the acutest of angles. It's pushed behind by Kobel, and it's going to be another corner to Tottenham, and despite the dominance in this game, it is only their 4th corner of the evening. I don't think Udogie or Simmons knew quite who was getting the shot away as he brought that in. And Udogie got out of his way. He was in an offside position, so to move out of his own teammate's way, sometimes you can see the flag go up and judge that to be interfering with play from an offside position, but not on this occasion. And we've got an out-swinging corner on its way from the right-hand side from Pedro Poro. As up from the back come Ramiro and Danso. And then around the penalty area, Simmons steps away from being short option support. Everyone back again for Dortmund in and around the 6-yard box. We've got a couple of Tottenham players in and around that area too, but the majority are around the penalty spot. As Couto's just nudging in the midsection there of Kolo Muani. In towards the back post it goes. It's headed goalwards by Ramiro, but it's hit the side netting. It feels like it took a touch on its way through by Kobel. The referee disagrees, and we're going to get a goal kick to Borussia Dortmund. Xavi Simmons just discussing with the referee that he also agreed with his captain Ramiro. It probably gives more of a compliment to Ramiro if he says that it's come off the goalkeeper, as it wasn't too far away anyway. Played back from Schlotterbeck to Kobel, out to the right hand side for Anton. And now to Bellingham, back to Anton. Goes all the way into Tottenham's half, but it's controlled by Romero. Now to Danso. All the way back to Vicario. Out left through Doggy. Now for Spence. First touch inside towards Gray. Won back by Simmons. Under pressure still. Inside to Gray. And himself a bit more space and plays it back to Romero. Now to Poro. Will turn on the ball. Has space to turn on it again. And plays it out left through Doggy. And back inside to Romero. Final 15 minutes of regular time. As it stands, Tottenham move up into 5th place. They've gained 6 positions with this 2-goal lead. And in towards Archie Gray, who feels like he was fouled, but referee's given nothing for it as Dortmund come away with the ball. Out to Ben Sabani. Down the left-hand side. Laid off by Ryerson. Chukwuemeka's pass to try and get it returned back. It's deflected out of play and we'll have a throw in on the left-hand side for Dortmund. And Ben Sabani will be the one to take. But the linesman's just jogged across and stepped in the way to say not to be taken just yet. As he is calling over the referee. Just because there seems to be a communication issue between the referee and his officials. We'll see the change now, though, that Dortmund are wanting to make. It's going to be the last one, and Couto will be going off. He was down a moment ago with an injury, and he's going to be replaced by Beer. So Jan Couto off, Beer on into the right back position. As we will now see the change of communication device being made between the referee and the 4th official, just to make it a bit more of a smoother process where he can communicate with not just his touchline officials but VAR, who we have already called upon twice in this game. Once when there was a penalty against Joe Bellingham, it wasn't given on field and VAR felt that that was fair and the correct decision. The other where a yellow card was given to Svensson and VAR intervened and said it was more deserving of a dismissal. He was given a straight red card. Now the Doggy on the left hand side. And towards Luani. Luani will come forward. It's opening up for him now as he takes us to the edge of the area onto his left foot, tries to get the shot away, goes down, wants a penalty, and Anton just clears the ball into the stands. It's going to be a throw-in on the left-hand side for Tottenham, but Muani, who had multiple chances to get his shot away, put it onto his left foot, and I think that's a fair challenge. Anton's just gone into the side of him and just knocked him off balance. He went left, and then as he moved right, tried to go left again, and Anton's just got himself in the way. And I'm not quite sure what you could expect the Dortmund defender to do to get himself out of the way. The referee immediately waved it away and missed the idea of a penalty. Of course, VAR have agreed. We'll continue with the game as it goes all the way back to Vicario inside of his area. Out to his right-hand side for Danso. Danso up towards Muani. Lays this ball off. Now it's with Simmons inside of Tottenham's half. Gets this away from Bellingham. Through the middle, it's an excellent run, and it's going to be all the way through, and a chance here perhaps for Tottenham to make it 3. It's well saved by Coble, as there was a good chance there for Byfield making that run down the right-hand side. Found himself in plenty of space. Now to Odobert, and back to Gray, and across to Simmons. Through the middle it goes. Odobert lays this off. Still a chance here for Tottenham. Can't get his shot away, and it looked more, if anything, like Spence was reluctant to get the shot away with his right foot. He favours his left anyway. But sometimes when the gap's opening up, you've just got to take your chance and just try and get it on target, even with a weaker foot at this level, especially at this stage of a game, especially when you know Dortmund are at a point there where within a couple of minutes they're probably going to throw everything they've got forward. They're going to be more in desperation mode to try and get something out of this game. Now with Poro inside of Tottenham's half, over the top for Muani to chase towards the corner flag. He doesn't feel he'll get there, and it's going to be chased down by Spence, who does get there and turned away by Schlotterbeck, and it's going to be a throw-in for Tottenham on the left-hand side, but it's well read by Spence to chase down because everybody from Dortmund had stopped just on the assumption that the ball was going out of play. Just looking at the replay, Odobert was definitely onside when he bared down on goal on the right-hand side. Now with Byfield, Out to Odebert. Inside to Poro on the edge of the area. Across to Simmons. Gap opens up, crossing towards Moani. Isn't equal to it, and it goes all the way through to Coble. Inside of the area, who collects it with his right hand. And they'll just hold on to possession and take this, and have plenty of time to do so, to take it to the edge of the area. Drops the ball down, plays it out to his right hand side to Anton. Pass inside to Champ. Champ to his left now for Ben Sabani. Further down the left hand side, controlled by Beer. Beer to Chukwuemeka, down towards the corner flag. Up against Danso, to the edge of the area, can't get his cross in yet. Forced to go back towards his own half, one back by Moani, momentarily as Schlotterbeck gets it back. Now for Silva. Out to Anton. And now Bellingham will turn on the ball and knock this past Poro. Now Silva on the edge of the area. He can't get the shot away, and away comes Simmons with the ball. Has Moani for support. He runs past Moani though and plays it out right to Odebert. Odebert up against Ben Sabani on that right hand side. Running through the middle is DJ Spence. He wants some more support. Across the middle it goes. Clearance from Schlotterbeck. Ricochets back off Spence. It's on the edge of the area now, making his way towards the left hand side is Beer. Can't get the clearance away as Odebert wins it back. Into the area he goes. Up against Schlotterbeck. Can't get his shot away. Back it goes to Simmons, who catches the ball with the outside of the boot, and it goes behind for a goal kick. And it will be a bit more desperation from Dortmund, who are speeding up the process of taking these goal kicks. And at the moment, everything is just falling in favour of the hosts, already holding a comfortable 2-goal lead. It leaves Dortmund in 11th place though, and they are 2 points behind the likes of Atlanta and Man City, but they've also only a point behind Inter Milan, who they play next. Now they've got two sides above them, Liverpool and Atletico Madrid, who still have a game to play. They'll both be playing tomorrow evening. It makes it all the more important that perhaps Dortmund get the points on the board now. Headed down by Beer. Through comes Silva. Danso gets there first inside of his own area. Out to his right hand side, he takes it. Clears this away. Blocked back off of Beer, and it'll be a throw-in on the right hand side for Tottenham. We're into the final 10 minutes of the game now. Tottenham Hotspur 2, Borussia Dortmund 0. Thank you very much for choosing Flashscore as your coverage of the Champions League this Tuesday evening. More Champions League coverage on the way tomorrow, of course, including the likes of Liverpool and Bayern Munich. We're bringing you updates from, as well as full match coverage, of course, of Liverpool and their trip to Marseille from 8 o'clock tomorrow evening. Now with Anton. Plays this back to the halfway line, out for Ben Sabani. Down the left hand side, now with Beer. Brings this inside, tackle made by Romero. Outright it goes to Odebert. Now back inside again. Byfield. Gets this into Dortmund's half, puts them back on the back foot and allows Tottenham to regroup, but out comes Coble to control the ball and plays it short to Schlotterbeck. Over the top on the left hand side to be chased down by Beer, but it's way too optimistic and it's going to go out of play for a goal kick for Tottenham, and there is no rush, no urgency and no desperation on its way from the Tottenham goalkeeper Vicario. He places the ball down to take the goal kick. It'll be Romero that actually takes it for him, giving him a bit more time to just maintain possession inside that 6-yard box. Romero does play the ball back now to Vicario, and across it goes to Danso on the edge of the area. Wastes a bit more time, and it's cleared away, headed down by Chan towards Bellingham, and now to Beer, to Ryerson, and now to Silva. Challenge made by Byfield. He's not very happy with the referee's decision to give the free kick against him. It's in a dangerous position now for Dortmund, and it's the right decision because he's gone straight through the back of Silva. And he's just taken out, he's got the ball, he's got the player, he's got a bit of everything in that challenge. So certainly the right decision, and Ryerson who will take this free kick in a very dangerous position. Vicario just instructs him where he wants his players on the edge of the area, and the one-man wall of Xavi Simons. This goes in towards the middle, headed away by Gray, tested down by Chan to Chukwuemeka. Now Anton out right, back into the area to Anton, but the ball's held up under the rain. Ramiro gets there first and plays this out to Udogie, back to Ramiro, who's left that to run. I think he expected it going all the way back to Vicario, but ball's just skidding out of play, and it's going to be a first corner of the evening for Borussia Dortmund. The rain certainly playing its part for both of these sides now. Now swinging corner on its way from the right hand side, and we'll see what they can do from a set piece. In towards the 6-yard box, headed towards the back post by Schlotterbeck, and Silva can't get to the edge of it. He keeps it in play though, stops it from going out of play for a throw in. Now to Bellingham, now to Chan. Looks out to his right hand side and plays this across to Chukwuemeka. Further right, chance for another cross to come in. In towards the middle, headed away by Udogie. To the edge of the area again with Chan. Pushed over the top towards the back post, headed on. Chested down by Vicario inside the 6-yard box, and as soon as Anton then closes him down, he will pick the ball up and waste a bit more time for Tottenham. Rolls this out now to Ramiro. Now to Gray, back to Ramiro. Out to the left hand side for Udogie. Down the line for Simons. Simons with the ball, pushing the back there from Ryerson. Another challenge comes in from Ryerson, and we'll see a free kick as Ryerson and Archie Gray don't seem to have taken too kindly to the incident, and the referee has wasted no time in booking both players. A couple of rash challenges going in as they start to feel the heat and the temptation for these challenges, especially under the weather. Ryerson sees himself going into the book, as does Archie Gray. It was an unnecessarily late challenge from Ryerson, and then as Gray's received the nudge from Anton towards Ryerson, Ryerson's pushed him out of the way, and Gray of course is then reacted, and I think the referee's done the right thing by just booking both players, stopping it from simulating any further, stopping it from escalating and getting worse, and potentially seeing more red cards from this game. Udogie's ball down the left hand side to Spence is away by Anton, and it's a throw in on the left hand side, equal with the edge of the area for Tottenham, not committing as many players forward. Spence throws this to Simons, will take this into the area, stands on the ball and loses balance, and Bellingham comes away up towards the right hand side, gives this ball now to Silva, can't get away from his marker, and it's won by Udogie unfairly, says the referee, and a free kick's been given to Dortmund inside of their own half on the right hand side. And it's put Tottenham back inside of their own half. Getting a replay of the corner that was taken by Schlotterbeck, who headed it on towards the back post. It just expected Silva to maybe make that run a second or two earlier. Had he done so, there's a chance that this game could be 2-1 instead. Flicked on by Beer, away by Dancer. Out for a throw in from in front of the technical area on the left hand side, into the final 3 minutes of regular time at the end of this game. Arsenal now lead Inter Milan by 3-1. It helps Dortmund's case of trying to break into the top 8 within a game against Inter Milan in 8 days. Through the middle for Silva, first time pass towards Bellingham's fallen back to him. Now to Chukwuemeka on the edge of the area, can't get his shot away. Simons gets there, through to Silva, won back by Udogie, takes this inside the 6-yard box, and away he comes on that right hand side. Clearances straight to Ben Sabani, he's crossing towards the middle, has gone past everybody and out of play for a goal kick to Tottenham. Again, slows down things just as Dortmund are starting to build some momentum. Tottenham get back in control of things. Well, it is certainly a game that may well have saved Thomas Frank, at least for now. The performance, the scoreline, all of it seems to have gone in Tottenham's favour. It really begs the question of what sort of Tottenham side we are going to see against Burnley, and if this is the sort of performance we will see. Very demanding, very controlled, high press performance from Spurs. We could be looking at a march back up the Premier League table. Ryerson out to the right hand side now. Gray wins it back, takes it towards his own corner flag and gets the ball away down that left hand side, but nobody's there. It's going to bounce all the way through to Coble, who comes up towards the halfway line to get it back for Dortmund. Now to Chan. Out to Schlotterbeck. Onto the left hand side now with Beer. Towards his own half for Ben Sabani. Into the middle for Schlotterbeck. And out left. Now to Beer. Beer beats his man down the left hand side. He's still up against Byfield. Inside to Chukwuemeka, who's against Poro. Inside to Bellingham. One more. On the edge of the area. Can't get his shot away. One back by Spence. Back to Danso. His clearance goes back into Dortmund's half. Out comes Coble again. 30 seconds left of regular time. Outside of the centre circle. Closed down by Mwani. Out to the right hand side. Brought down in plenty of space here by Ryerson. Goes forward down that right hand side. He's up against Udogi. Gets away from him. Tackle made by Romero. And the free kick's been given in favour of Tottenham as the referee makes it very clear to both Simmons and Udogi that it was for the initial challenge. And the free kick just on the edge of the area on the right hand side. And again another chance for Dortmund to get themselves on the score sheet. Some may say it's not something they've deserved as a result of the game so far, as we're now into the allocated added time minutes, which the referee has given us 5 additional minutes. Plays in and around the penalty spot. Ryerson with the free kick in towards the 6-yard box, headed goalwards, and it's well saved and tipped over by Vicario, who's not really had too much to do in this game so far. That's the toughest thing he's had to deal with. It's a well-timed jump from Schlotterbeck to head this and divert it goalwards, and it's a strong hand from Vicario to tip it over the bar. And Ryerson from the left-hand side will have an in-swinging corner on its way. Defenders stay forward again for Dortmund. Everybody back for Tottenham, hoping to hold on to this clean sheet. They've conceded at least 2 goals in each of the last 3 games. All 3 have ended in defeats, so a clean sheet will do confidence huge amount. In swinger towards the near post, headed away by Poro. Simmons is going to bring this down up towards the halfway line. He's got Poro to his right in plenty of space. That's exactly where he plays the ball. Pedro Poro takes it into the area. Can he get his shot away? He's closed down. Simmons then tries to get a shot away. Both have gone down to ground. On both occasions, penalties have been waved away as Dortmund now come away with the ball on the left-hand side. It's with Emre Can into Tottenham's half. On the left-hand side finds Silva by the touchline. Brings this inside. Pass Byfield. Still space for Chan on the left-hand side, but he can't get the pass in that direction. Lays this off to Ryerson. Now it gets out there to Chan, but Tottenham are back in numbers and he's not able to find that same space as he did just a moment ago. Cross over to the far side. Ryerson brings this down on the edge of the area. Cross in towards the middle, headed away by Danso towards the edge of the area. Mwani can't bring it down and it's with Chan. Emre Can now to Chukwuemeka into the area. Beers tried to get his cross in and it's turned away by Poro. And the throw in on the left hand side for Dortmund. Poro was definitely in an onside position. Should have maybe struck that a bit sooner as he waited for the gap to close down with Emre Can. And the angle made it all too difficult for him to get a convincing shot away. Throw in taken short to Ben Sabani. And now back to Beer by the touchline. He's got space to get a cross in, but instead waits for the support to come closer to him. But with that comes more Tottenham players closing him down. Back it goes to Chan, now out to Beer. Still chooses not to get a cross in. Drops this back onto his right foot. Cross comes in. It's gone past Byfield. It's fallen to Chukwuemeka. Shot goes goalwards. He feels it's taken a deflection. It's not. It's sailed over. And it will be a goal kick to Tottenham into the final 2 minutes of this added time. And Dortmund supporters who have made this long trip to London just look on in disappointment. But it's a Much needed 3 points. It's a much needed win, not just for the Tottenham supporters that feel that the Champions League is important to them, but more so for the side and the players and the supporters that feel that maybe things are running a bit stale in North London currently. They are looking at their local rivals at the top of both the Premier League and the Champions League group phase. Despite what was a very promising start to their Premier League campaign, things have fizzled out. They're 14th in the Premier League at the moment. They're struggling against sides like West Ham that they lost to in the most recent game. It's not been convincing for them. Seems like faith seems to have been running out on Thomas Frank as Simmons finds some space on the right hand side into the final 30 seconds. Down the line for Odobert, takes this to the corner flag and back to Simmons. Only 2 substitutions needed by Thomas Frank. Inside it goes now to Porro. Simmons goes in for a slide tackle there with Beer. It's very dangerous, and a very dangerous pass back from Pedro Porro. But it's now with Danso. Outright to Byfield. Back to Danso. And all the way back to Vicario. Might just spell the final seconds of this game for Tottenham. His ball upfield goes past Ben Saboni, and it does. And there's the final whistle here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. It is a very, very convincing performance from Thomas Frank's side. And if it is his final game in charge in North London at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, he has certainly gone out on top. It has been a very controlled performance from Tottenham that saw Christian Romero get himself on the scoresheet after Odobert found himself chipping the ball over Brandt on the right hand side. His ball across the middle, and Romero found himself some space to divert the ball goalwards into the empty goal past Kobel. And then it all came crumbling down as Svensson, just as Dortmund was starting to find themselves in some kind of momentum, Svensson miscontrolled his own first touch, and as he stretched out to get the ball, a very dangerous tackle on Wilson Odobert left himself with a red card, dismissed and heading into the changing rooms. And then Dominic Solanke, however much, however little he may have known about the way in which he converted that goal, he will not care. In his first start of the season, he doubled the side's advantage, and that's where they would go into the break. Tottenham in full control, Dortmund without a shot at all registered in the game. But into the second half, a much more revitalised Dortmund side after 2 changes were made couldn't find a breakthrough against a very resilient, a very disciplined Tottenham defence. It has finished at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. 3 valuable points that lift them into the automatic qualification places. As it stands at the moment, they sit comfortably in 4th place. Dortmund down in 12th will have it all to do against Inter Milan in 8 days' time if they're to find themselves in the automatic qualification places. It has finished at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Tottenham 2,